Have you ever wondered what role generosity plays in your spiritual growth? What in the world does my finances or my willingness to give money to the church have anything to do with growing spiritually? Well, it actually has everything to do with growing spiritually. Because one of the biggest hurdles for many Christians is to get over the lie about being self-reliant. This is one of the oldest lies in the history of mankind. Satan used this lie to convince Adam and Eve to eat the forbidden fruit. In Genesis 3, Satan tells Eve, "You won't die. God knows that your eyes will be opened as soon as you eat it, and you will be like God, knowing both good and evil." From the very beginning, Satan has been spreading this lie that as humans, we can be as smart or as all-knowing as God. We don't have to rely on God for anything. We tell ourselves we need to, we should, or even it is imperative that we take care of ourselves, because if we don't, who will? Are you really going to entrust your future to God? Are you going to rely on Him to take care of you? Recently, I heard a pastor say, Christians today want two things in life. They want assurance that they're going to heaven, and they don't want to look different than anyone else in the world. I think this is true, but I know that this is in direct contrast to what God's Word says that we should be as Christians. How can I place my eternal salvation in the hands of God, but not trust Him to meet my needs today? I believe that the practice of being generous is a huge part of spiritual growth. Because when we truly recognize what God has done for us, when that belief grows to the point that we begin giving back to God, that is when our spiritual growth goes to the next level. That is when we truly understand that I can trust God in every area of my life. That is when we get to the point when we become reliant upon God for everything. We flip the switch from being reliant on ourselves and looking out for number one to being broken and submitting to God in everything, trusting that He will do what He promises and that He will take care of my every need. I know many Christians that trust in Jesus for eternal salvation. They thank God for their food at every meal. They sincerely pray for God to protect them when they're traveling or to heal them when injury or sickness comes. But when it comes to making sure that financially they have everything they need, making sure that they can pay their bills, feed their family, and still have some money for the fun things, or still have some saved for retirement, they believe the lie that the world and that the prince of this world, Satan, tells them about making sure that they take care of themselves. Early in my life, a good friend of mine was fired from his job at George Fox for no real good reason. I was furious, and I was so frustrated that the university that I loved would just kick him to the curb. But the wisdom I received from my friend when we had coffee made a huge impact in my understanding of how much trust I have in God. He simply said, "I'm going to be fine. George Fox is not my provider." If you struggle with being generous, don't beat yourself up. Don't think that you're a terrible person or that you're completely untrusting. The lies of this world are real and they're very convincing. Begin by just giving a little. See how this act of obedience will grow your faith. Then ask God to increase your faith. Then, little by little, I believe you will give more and more, and God will answer your prayer and will increase your faith, and you will have a greater understanding of how much God has blessed you and how you can participate in blessing others with your generosity.